What's happening, people? Welcome back to Armchair Fans TV. I've got a Palace versus United match review. I'm on my solo ones. As the rest of the boys have got some commitments, but yeah, looks like we finally got a win. Last win was against Brighton, but the relief. Oh man, what can I say? Starting off with the lineups, can't really complain too much. Dalot came in for Dorgu after obviously Ruben Amorim's comments. He expected him to get dropped. Um, Obviously Ahmad back at wing back. We had obviously front three off Mount, Xerxes and Mbemu. But yeah, midfield of Bruno and Casemiro, obviously, and the back three picks itself, to be honest. But yeah, I was like, do you know what? Didn't have much hope in this game because obviously of last week's performance, it just literally flattened me. So I was like, listening to Ruben's comments saying that we've had a good week of training, the boys will be up for it. So I was like, okay, let's see this. But that first half, my God, what can I say about that? That was shambolic. Like, I don't know what to say. That was on par with the Everton game. Literally, yeah, we might have like had a couple of headers and whatnot in the beginning with Casemiro, I think. But come on, Palace were absolutely comfortable in that first half. They were winning all the second balls. And make sure this is the team that played on Thursday. They were winning all the second balls. They were creating chances, having shots on goals. Obviously, we gave away a penalty. With Wharton was a lovely pass to Mateta, and Euro had a brain dead moment there. Literally brought the player down, which Euro had a very poor game. He's been poor for the last couple of weeks, to be honest. But yeah, Mateta gets the penalty. They go 1-0 up. I was just like, oh, here we go again. Obviously, VAR intervened because he double tapped it with his foot, hit his left foot, I think. So yeah, got a retake, but that retake made no difference anyways. He went the other way, made it 1-0, and I was like, oh my God, here we go again. Do you know what? I wasn't even angry. I was just more like acceptance. It was just acceptance. I was just like, do you laugh or do you cry? Do you know what I mean? Watching this team, like we were slipping all over the place. Delit fell away as well, and Ketia went through. I was like, this is shambolic. We're literally banter FC, and then literally 1-0 at half time. I was like, second half, I had like no chance. I was speaking to one of my friends on a phone call for the second half. I was just before the second half, and I was just like, do you know what? I have seen no chance of us coming back in this unless somehow Palace get tired and we somehow have a kick up the arse. Yeah, that's the only way we're getting back into this. And what happened was, second half came out, it was a bit more of the same, same. You know how it is. But yeah, um, to be honest, we were much better in terms of like winning the second balls, getting the ball on the ground, passing it. And obviously, first goal came from a free kick. Bruno took it quick, caught up at the Palace defenders. Xerxes from a tight angle. I didn't even know it went in. Do you know when he shot? I was like, what? And then it was a late celebration for me because I didn't even know how that went in. But top finish from Xerxes. He deserves that. You know what? He was criticized him last game. I criticized him in the first half, but great goal by Xerxes. And then obviously the second goal came from another free kick that we won. Obviously Bruno was a clever one. I thought Bruno was going to take it, but just quickly just taps it to Mount. Mount bottom corner goes in. 2-1 up just like that. I was like, wow, two good goals has got us the lead. But I was like, now, come on, please see this out. This is a Palace team that's tiring. Munoz, Mitchell, they weren't making overlapping runs. Their passing was a bit sloppy in the second half. So I was like, this is our game to win. If we don't win this game, then there's no hope. Yeah, and obviously Palace tried to push us at the end, but Palace were done. Even you could tell by Glasner. Glasner, when he was sitting down, he knew that, yeah, his team has nothing left in him. I think Thursday took it out of him. But credit to Man United at the end of the day. We got the job done. I want to touch upon a couple of performances. To be honest, I don't think Mbemu had a good game. That was probably his worst game in a United shirt. He was trying everything, but it wasn't working for him. It's just one of them days. I don't think Mount had a good game, apart from the goal. But yeah, even Bruno Fernandes, who got 2 assists, I don't think he had a good game. He was like lashing out in clearances, making mistakes. Casemiro didn't have a good game. To be honest, not many players did have a good game, even though we won 2-1. I think our man of the match was Luke Shaw before he got taken off, obviously. He made 2 great blocks when we were 1-0 down. So I have to give it up to Luke Shaw, man. I'm not his biggest fan. You know, he's been at the club for too long for my liking. But you know what? He does a job anyways. He doesn't complain. He just gets on with it. But yeah, also, big shout out to Licha Martinez. Lissandro Martinez is back. He's made his appearance. Came on, obviously, for Luke Shaw. So happy to see him back. Obviously, he's just come back from a very long injury. So hopefully he can stay fit and get a consistent run of games. Because we did miss that little tenacity at the back. You know, that that little something, that little oomph at the back here. But yeah, good to see him back. Made some 2 late changes from Almiron, which was Dorgu and Dorgu and Mainu. But that was just to see off the game. And yeah, literally when Palace had the free kick at the end, I'm like, please, God, please, no. I'm like, Ya Allah, please. But thank God we saw it out. I'm not going to get carried away with this win. You know what? Palace ain't lost for 12 games at their stadium. We ain't scored in 5 years, which I didn't even know that. So the fact that we got the win is massive positives. Do you know what? As a United fan, you can't complain about today. Obviously, the performance wasn't the best. This is one of the games that you'll end up forgetting, but it was an important 3 points. We've got West Ham on Thursday. That's going to be the real test. We're going to have to make sure that we get the 3 points in that game because West Ham's going to sit back, play on the counter, and that's when we struggle the most. Hopefully, Cunha's back for that game. But I just thought I'll give you my thoughts on the game. I'm happy today. I can watch the Chelsea-Arsenal match knowing that my team's done the job. Do you know what I mean? So I can enjoy the rest of the weekend. And we go again on Thursday. Come on, United.